Hello, this is Yaakov Kronenberg from Jerusalem, and tonight we'll be doing another class in the series of classes on the ascendant and the ruling planet. Tonight we're up to Aries with Mars and Virgo. It's an interesting combination. Again, it's not one of the easier combinations because the ruling planet now falls in the 6th house. So the nature of the ruling planet is in a sign that sort of disagrees with the nature of the ruler of the sign on the ascendant, which is Aries. Aries wants to be a leader. Aries wants to be number one. Aries wants what it wants. It doesn't brook opposition. It doesn't care about what other people think. It cares only about itself and getting what it wants. And the Virgo is a much different type of person. The Virgo is a person who wants to help other people. Right? The Virgo is the servant, the classic servant, right? That does the house of medicine, the 6th house. One of its indications is the house of ill health. And doctors are in that house. They're the classic public servants. Government officials are learned from the 6th house. People who have strong 6th houses, they work for the government, they could be teachers, they could be doctors, nurses, right? All of the helping professions. So it's sort of a contradiction, right? Because the Aries wants to be their number one, but yet it's got its Mars working with Virgonian energy. The energy is more to serve people. So the ideal way is to be a leader through serving. If like a doctor. The doctors, they become, it's like a high and mighty profession, and so there's a lot of doctors that have that type of combination, Aries with Mars and Virgo, right? Very precision-oriented, very analytical, very good at finding out, what the disease is, differential diagnosis, and they really know how to, take care of, if there are surgeons, they know exactly how to cut everything up, dissect everything, right? That's the Mars and Virgo. And so to put the two energies together, there has to be some kind of idea of becoming number one through serving, through helping, right? And but it's a difficult position. Because the 6th house, you have to understand, the person has the ruling planet in the 6th house, they tend to feel like they're servants. They don't feel like they're leaders, right? Because the 6th house is the house of servants, it's the house of ill health. So a person has the ruler in the 6th, they don't feel that type of leadership energy. So it says a little bit of a problem, that combination. And again, I don't have any good examples from my charts of somebody with Aries rising, Mars in Mercury. Maybe I'll find something and I'll put it up, but right now I can't think of anybody offhand. So let's go on. Let's do another combination. Let's do now Mars in Libra. Aries rising, Mars in Libra. So again, it's going to be another, even a more, maybe a little bit complicated composition. Because again, when you have Mars in Libra with an Aries rising, so the Mars is going to be in the 7th house, the house of other people. And it's in the sign of Libra, the sign of the detriment of Mars. Mars is not so good in Libra because it's trying to... Libra is the peacemaker. It doesn't like to fight. So you have a Mars there. It's sort of crippled in a certain way. It's a contradiction in terms. It's like fighting for peace. In Israel, all the old generals, all the old leftist generals, when they go off into politics and they name for themselves, they write books, and they write books like fighting for peace, battling for peace, giving my life for peace. All sorts of contradictions like that. And that's the Aries with the Mars and Libra. It's a difficult combination. Again, because you have the ruling planet in the 7th house, so you're giving yourself up to other people. Right? When you have the Mars in the 7th house, it's connected with the marriage partner. It's connected with the others, and so the Aries is supposed to looking out for number one. But when you have Mars and Libra, you have to take other people into consideration. You have to care about them. So already it weakens that Aryan nature. So it's going to be deprived a little of that. I had a friend once that I just remembered his chart now. I have charts from years and years back. He was a guy I knew in college. We were friendly, a little bit friendly. And he's an Aries rising, had 4 planets in Libra, if I remember. 4 planets in Libra in the 7th house. He had Mars in Libra, the Sun in Libra, Venus in Libra, and Neptune in Libra. All 4 planets. And so he had his ruling planet there, the Mars in Libra. So his story was like this. He was one day at the university, they had a demonstration. And so during the demonstration, I don't know what happened, some guy jumped him, and he hit the guy over the head. And so it turned out the guy he hit over the head was an undercover policeman. So they took this guy off, my friend, and they put him in jail. And he was a little bit lucky that his father was sort of a well-known politician or whatever from wherever they lived. And his father pulled connections, and they made a deal with the courts that instead of going to jail for for hitting the policeman, he didn't really intend to hit the police. He didn't know if it was if he knew it was a policeman, he wouldn't have hit him. So there really wasn't anything that big deal. So they made a deal, and so with the police, instead of going to jail, he would go to the Marine. He would serve in the Marines. So this is the time of Vietnam. America was at war, and in any case, he had the choice. They gave him the choice: 6 months in jail or 2 years in the Marine Corps. So he chose 2 years in the Marine Corps. And when he got out, he said it was the best thing that ever happened to him in his life, right? He became a changed man. He came back, he was all muscle bound. He added 20 pounds, he became all muscle. And it changed his whole outlook on life. Because his Aries was able now to come out. Until then, all his warrior instincts were sort of knocked out. He had 4 planets opposing the ascendant. So when you have 4 planets opposing the ascendant, it's very, very hard on your ascendant to come out and be what it wants to be, because you have all these planets opposing it. And that was his chart. He had all those planets opposing the ascendant. Like when I knew him, when he came to college, he already wrote a 300-page book on science fiction. And he was like a really good artist. All these Libran qualities. He was mostly a Libran, He was a writer, and he was an artist, and eventually he became an architect. When he got back to the army sent him to school. He became an architect, a fairly famous architect. He has got the sun conjoined his ruling planet and made him famous. The Mars there gave him the architectural ability. Mars and Libra is good for Mars is very good with the hands, and Libra is very artistic, and he had Venus there also. And he had Neptune, a lot of vision. And so when you combine, we have 4 planets in a house, you have to combine all of them somehow. They work together. They all express themselves. One doesn't knock out the other, but they all do express themselves together, and you have to see how they combine. So I hope everybody enjoyed the class tonight, and I thank you.